Welcome back to the actuality, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Josh Wallace from Angels Citadel. I will be the GM here, and this is The Soul's Direction, an Invisible Sun live play. Um, Invisible Sun is a game from Monte Cook Games, and we've been playing for a little while now. Let's go ahead and reintroduce our cast here real quick. We're missing one. We wish him the best, and hopefully we'll see him next session. But Kelton, why don't we get started with you?
Yeah, that's okay. I am Kelton. You can find me some places as Fesnorax, and I'm playing Billy Burrows. He is a weaver. He is an empath. He plumbs the deeps of sleep, or at least he used to. Now he just lives there permanently and sort of projects himself into the actuality, and that's gotten kind of weird. And yeah, I am looking forward to playing this game with everybody. So, hey, Jeff.
Alrighty. Claire or Joanne, we can give you a second here. Let's go, Jeff.
All right. Hi, I'm Jeff. You can find me as Jeffrey Boring on Discord, and I play Albion J. Finch, who is an established Waveheart apostate who walks with a secret companion named Reynard. And he's just always happy to be wherever he is and make a few new friends. And if he can help somebody out of a pickle, he's happy to do it.
Everybody's lovable fox friend. And last but not least, Joanne.
Okay, I'm Joanne Wallace, the other half of Angel Citadel, who handles the technical details. Yay, bears. I am playing a Claire Thespian, a gallant goetic with a suit deck who brandishes battle magic.
And let's talk about what happened last session. Kelton, you want to get us started?
Sure. We last session we went to the red and immediately met Sterling, who has kind of lost his mind, and we talked to the warden. Albion gave up a hat, and Billy gave up a tie. That's actually pretty heavy. It doesn't sound like it.
No, it doesn't, but it was a really heavy kind of a moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And yeah, that we went to a city with weird hovels and made of meat, maybe. A weird living city with hovels on it. We didn't explore that at all. We got some strange equine-like creatures that we're gonna just call horses from now on, and made our way to I want to say Caldera, but it's a living volcano. And we had some interesting conversations along the way. Billy is very concerned about Narcario, the demon that is hip to hip with Claire all the time. Probably unnecessarily, but Billy is paranoid right now. And we drank some wine. We had a pretty much pointless encounter, thanks to Billy, with a Lacuna spider that was cleaning up our garbage. And Billy was very concerned about it. We spent a lot of time on that. And then we got to the volcano, and there was a phoenix. And we got another piece of, each of us got another piece of our souls from that phoenix. Anybody want to fill in the gaps here?
Jeff, Joanne, anything to add?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think that covered it.
All right. So we are at the end of that session. We stepped through a portal back to Saturnine, provided by our friend Jeff, or Albion, as we like to call him. And by some mutual agreement, we're going to fast forward a little bit. And time passes. This is now at least, but we'll call it 2 months after your visit to the Red. In that time, Claire has found another path to walk, and you see her now often with a sooth deck, and quite often the cards will just float aimlessly about her head, and she seems to be pre-concerned with time and destiny more often than she used to be. You also went to the Pale. You went back to the Pale for some of you, and picked up another piece of your soul. This one in the Ticking Forest was a clock face, designed differently for each of you, with the pointer arms, different scroll work, different. Some of the one of them was Roman numeral. One of them was it had a number every tick on the side. One only had 4. One didn't have any. And they seem impossibly thin. They're maybe that thin, but they keep perfect time. Except somehow the ticking is the ticking of your heart, not the ticking of a second hand. And yet they still keep time. So as you find yourself having passed 2 months now, you are down to 1 sun that contains a piece of your soul that you do not have. It also happens to be a sun that you've been told you can find a artifact or a object of power known as the multiphasic compass, that will teach you how to look in different directions. So what would you like to do? How would you like to proceed?
Not it.
I feel like we need to play Heads Up 7 Up or something like that here on stream or something.
Not it. Not it.
Billy's got it. I think Albion or Billy can get us there.
Well,
Easily.
I was going to look at possibly a divination spell. But I don't think I have. I don't think I have a spell that will help. The only spell I have for finding things is, or finding people, only works on people. So I suppose we could go to the gold and see if we can figure out where we need to be. And I'll just pop open a door. Oh gosh, except I've never been to the gold, so warden time.
Actually, yeah,
Yep.
you've never been to the gold, but Kelton can also get you there too. So
Yeah, Billy can get us there.
We're
for
gonna
sure.
have to encounter the warden anyways because we're going to a different sun. I
Yep.
don't want to.
I know. Sick of these guys. But yeah, no problem. Billy will make a weave. Probably distance from freedom.
you don't need to make
Yeah,
a weave.
yeah. Well, I do. Okay,
You know a
so
secret.
yes. Does that work for these guys? Oh, well, never mind.
You can take
So-
them as long as you're touching them.
Oh.
You can take them along with you.
Okay, so he's like, all right, everybody, huddle up. And we just shift. There's no portal, there's no
Yep.
door. We're just standing in the same place, but we're in a completely different place if you look around. Including Macario, who Billy is like.
Okay. You shift into probably the single brightest building you have ever been in. Every surface that you can see is covered with gold. And as you look out, there's windows. They're up high, but there's windows. It doesn't appear to be super bright, but the light that's coming in seems to be both reflected and amplified by all the surfaces in here. And so everything that comes in gets brighter. You figure after all that you've been through and the way stuff seems to be in the actuality, there's probably some symbolism behind that, or at least somebody was trying to make some symbolism behind that. But that's not something that you're going to take a second to think about unless you decide you want to. Inside this building, you see, I don't know, probably a couple of dozen people. Most of them look to be Visley. There's a couple Eldebrin and actually a Lacuna as well. And they all seem to be congregating towards a large door. And periodically the door will open and a voice will call out a name and one of them will go in. And then the door shuts and they're gone for what seems to you to be a minute, maybe a minute and a half. And then the door will open and another name will get called and another person will go in and the door shuts and the process repeats itself. Eventually, the door opens and you hear Billy Burrows, Albion Finch, Claire Thespian, the demon Narcariel, Reynard, and that's it. And you look around and you notice that Sterling, who had come with you, is not there.
I approach the door. This isn't the first time he hasn't been there, so I'm not necessarily surprised, and I frown a little bit at his absence, but I walk toward the door, uh, and Reynard and I step through.
Yeah, Billy's gonna follow him and be like, "Really, right now? I mean, you do right now? Okay, fine, whatever." And we'll follow Albion.
All right. I'm assuming Claire follows.
Yeah, I figure Narkiri will follow and lead her.
Yep. Okay. So you go in and the door closes and you're standing before, it's a fairly high pedestal, with actually the only piece of furniture that you've seen that isn't gold. It's a solid hardwood. I'll call it a standing desk, probably because it's so tall that whoever's behind it almost has to be standing, unless they're just really really tall and sitting on a stool or something like that. You can't really tell. But peering over this desk are three very androgynous looking creatures. Their bodies are fairly slender. They have something of delicate hands that they're scribbling on parchment in books with, and long flowing white and wispy hair. But that's not what catches your eye. What catches your eye is that every one of them is faceless. It's just a solid, smooth front, except that there are two eyes that are very obviously painted on the front of that face, where eyes should be. They don't move. They don't blink. They don't do anything. But they kind of give you something to look at anyway. And so we'll go ahead and draw a card here, and that is Inevitable Cataclysm. Visions, swans, blades, and water. Bad luck, endings, inevitability, breaking a relationship. While we fear the cataclysm, it is inevitable. We cannot prevent it. The end comes for all things eventually, and we cannot stop it. The earth quakes, the seas advance, the skies fall. Fire engulfs everything. We can try to survive it, but that's likely the best we can hope for. An optimist might say that a cataclysm can be cleansing and change things for the better, but the inevitable cataclysm isn't about that. It's about endings. Which is interesting that this is the sun at the end of the path, of the light side path, Okay. They look down at you, and as they do, you hear three distinct voices speaking in unison. So different tenors, different cadences, different even accents. And you're assuming that it's a voice per creature, but you don't know because no mouths. And each of them says, or the cacophony of voices say, "Why are you wanting to visit the gold?" With that, I'm going to really quick have each of you make a intellect check.
What was the type of check?
Intellect.
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 That is a 9.
Any skills that might be relevant?
Not skills per se, but you are going to each have a +2 to this because you have all read the books you received from the Golden Ones library.
Okay. Well, then that makes it an 8.
So an 8, a 9, and an 11. Okay. All of you remember in the book on the gold, aside from reading about the Anfractus Expanse, where you expect to find your soul piece, you remember functionally this passage. The first secret every Visley needs to know about the Gold Realm, never the Golden Realm, is how to get in. Getting in means dealing with Shima, the powerful and wise and whatever. She is all glory and majesty, and her realm's number is 8. And you know the drill. You've read all that before. What you want to know is how best to entreat with the warden herself. Well, for starters, you probably won't. What this means is almost certainly you'll interact with one of her servitors. Most of these look like women with eyeless faces, with eyes drawn on where it seems they should be. You see, Shima can't be bothered to talk to everybody that comes through her gateway. She has better business to attend to. Her attendants at the gate will probably interview you, questioning why you wish to visit the Gold Sun. Your answers are important, but not in the way that we might think. Truthful answers don't matter. They couldn't care less. Instead, you want to stress things like fluidity, change, new beginnings, and so on. This is the Gold Sun, remember? If you do that correctly, they'll probably give you some small task that needs doing in the realm, like carrying a message or checking on someone's status. Or they might ask you to give something important to your old life to show that you're embracing the new.
And is sorry, backing up just a second, is one of the representatives like approaching us?
No, they're all behind this desk staring down at you.
Ah, okay. Perfect. I mean, Billy is going to approach the desk.
You
And
approach the
say,
desk.
yeah, is the attendant engaging?
No, it's just those three creatures,
Mhm.
and there doesn't appear to be anybody that has opened the door or anything like that.
Mhm.
So you're assuming it opened on its own. You don't know, but you're assuming. Um, that's it. That's all that's in the
I'm
room.
sorry, I thought we already went through the door that opened.
You
Okay.
did.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Billy's gonna walk up to the desk and be like, "Hey."
They don't say anything. They're still looking at you.
Albion is gonna sidle up alongside Billy and lean on the desk and say, "So, it's very nice of you to greet us. We, my friends, uh, are here because, well, we're walking the path of suns. We seek to discover the truth, the secrets, the lies about ourselves, but most importantly, we are here to learn who we might become if we just put in a little bit of effort to see what we could change and accomplish going forward. The gold sun is, of course, the representation of change, I believe. And I do think that, well, for my friend Billy here, he has already done quite a bit of changing, and there's only clear skies and open roads ahead of him. As
Look,
for
I'm only getting
myself,
started.
as for
We're gonna change
myself,
Saturnine. Saturine's a mess. I don't know how much you guys care about it, but it's a mess. It
I,
has to change.
I expect
We're gonna fix
these
it.
fine civil servants are very invested in the change that needs to happen in Saturnine, my friend. Aren't you, ladies?
Yeah, are you?
The three of them kind of turn very slowly and look back and forth at each other, in almost that comical way, right? It starts at one end and two of them look at each other, and then the one looks back at you, and then the one in the middle turns and looks at the other one, and then that one looks back at you, and then the one on the ends turn and look at each other. That happens, right? And then they almost seem to get a little taller, and they look over you, and they look at Claire.
What they said sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure she's on board. It's she's been a part of this the whole time.
I lean in and I say, we're especially interested in changing her relationship status, such as it is at the moment. And I eye the demon. Uh,
There's nothing wrong with being single.
Billy is going to
Absolutely. And I'm glad
corroborate
you feel that way.
that without turning back in any way that Claire or Nicario can see. Just like a wink. Like,
Okay. The three creatures do it again, and then they look back at you, and the question becomes, How do we know that you seek change? Would you leave behind something of your old lives? Something meaningful?
Oh, I'm not sure there's much that's meaningful left in my old life. It seems to have evaporated quickly around me. Uh, I
Yeah,
could
I'm gonna
offer a
second that.
pledge.
I mean, I have nothing left. You can take the bomb.
I can provide proof that we've already started the change if that would please you.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, so they look at you, Kelton, and as one, they almost you can almost think that they're smiling, and they say, "Very well, Mr. Burroughs."
Sounds good.
And
I don't need it
then
anymore.
they look at Claire. What is this evidence that you wish to provide?
Nakuru, begin the proceedings. Turn my radio on and let them listen to what we've already started changing for the thaw, the angular serpentine, and the arabesques that are currently under attack.
He pulls out a small receiver and walks up to the table and sets it down, and turns it on. And you begin hearing a play that was written by Orisard being performed by a ghostly cast. You're not quite sure which ones. They tend to rotate, but the three creatures look at the receiver and listen for several long moments, and then the one closest to it reaches out and puts their hand over it, and it vanishes.
There is currently a civil war in Saturn. The Thaw have been taking
Hi.
people, and people are fighting back. We've already encouraged change. We are here to continue our changes. All we ask is passage.
They do that thing again where they're looking at each other, and then they look at Albion.
Well, it's perhaps a bit difficult to tell just by looking at me, but uh, by all accounts, I once was a fairly different man. I personally don't recall such a thing, but when I have looked into the things that seemed meaningful in my past. It turns out they never existed because the other man existed in their place. I suppose. I suppose I could give you the house that I live in. It's a stranger's house, as far as I can tell. I remember it, and I feel fondly toward it, but I don't remember quite how I came into possession of the thing.
Very well, Mr. Finch. And they nod.
It's okay, Albion. You can continue living with me. Screech
Ah,
likes you.
I feel as though this is a this is a change more so than a sacrifice. I feel like there might be a home still to go back to. Just won't be the same.
The three of them gesture off to the side, and there's a spot in the wall that lights up brighter than the rest. It's almost an archway, but made of light. Welcome to the Gold Sun. May you find that which you seek, and may your changes be for the better.
That's very generous of you. What a kind wish. Thank you very much. Reynard, are you ready?
Yeah, you guys are a delight. Thank you so much.
I pick up Reynard. Well, it looks like I'm just playing with my imaginary friend, but I reach down and I pick up Reynard, who is currently a small fox, and I whisper into his ear, What did you change? Oh, well, look, your fur is all gold now. That's really something." And I just kind of stroke his head as we're walking through the gate.
Okay. You exit through the doorway of light, and you find yourself in, I don't know what they're called. It's a, if you think back to ancient Rome and ancient Greece, the circular, maybe a vestibule, columns in a circle or under a domed ceiling that's solid on only one side where this door leads to. It's massive. It's maybe 300 feet across, diameter wise, and there's stairs down into what looks to be a city. And from your reading, you know this city is probably, at least, Peristal. There are people and Visley and what look to be quite a few Elderbrim, like a lot more than you see in Saturnine, meandering around the streets, talking, laughing, children playing, Um, it seems to be a fairly busy, bustling town.
I suppose since we're in the same sun, and I checked my notes, and by that I mean I got a message from the GM about Rusaz, who is the one who holds the compass. I feel like we should probably try to find the compass first, because the what is it called? I can't remember. The area of the gold that we have to go to for the pieces of our soul.
The Anfractus
The
Expanse.
Anfractus Expanse. I feel like that
I
might
didn't remember that.
that might take a very long time to get through. And it isn't close to where people live for the most part. So I might try to use that spell that I mentioned to find Rusaz.
Okay. What exactly is the description of that spell?
Hunt the Lost. Using the new sphere, I learn the location of one being whose name I know. If they are within 5 miles, I learn their direction and distance. If they are farther than 5 miles away, I learn a place name. It is a level 5 with +1 die. So I assume I roll against the level of the person.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a total of 11 on the blue die, and on the magic die, I got an 8.
Okay, that's plenty. You know that he is in the House of Secrets.
The House of Secrets. Okay, so we can perhaps go to the town below and ask if anybody knows where we might start looking for the House of Secrets.
Okay. Are you just going to ask somebody at random, or are you going to try and find somebody specific?
I was throwing that out there so that my colleagues could could jump in and.
I was gonna ask, like, do we have any idea what you're doing?
Yeah, I
So
would.
we walk through the door, we see the city, and
Yeah, I go ahead and cast the spell, hoping that maybe Rusaz is in the city, but it seems that he's further away than that. And I say, so we need to go find the compass in the House of Secret.
you know what that is?
Called the House of Secrets for a reason, I assume. I don't imagine they advertise, but surely someone in this city below might have an idea of where to start, even if it's just a rumor. That would be more than we have to go on now. We could also try to find a means of transportation that's comfortable and accommodating for the 5 of us.
Sounds good to me. Let's do that first.
Okay. You head down to the city, and there are restaurants and hotels and shops, you're easily able to find lodging for all of you, and it's actually fairly inexpensive. It's almost as if and the merchants and the craftsmen or women in the city all seem to want people to come there, and so they subsidize, make it so that it's welcome, if that makes sense. Like, come stay here, it's cheap, and spend your money not on lodging but on our stuff.
Yes, the cameras are bored. I am just going to hack together something to fix it for now.
Okay.
Because I have no idea what the hell OBS is doing.
That works.
It's all us. We're just not where we belong.
We could pause if you need to do some technical.
Yeah, I'd have to stop the stream to fix it and then restart the stream because I think I'm going to have to update something because OBS is being weird. So we'll just keep going.
We can keep going like that. That's fine.
Okay.
There we are. Okay. You have a wonderful dinner. You find some rest, and are you going to look the next day, or are you going to look that day? Are you going to what's the plan, I guess?
I feel like a three-pronged approach is warranted here. I could go to one of the finer gentlemen's clubs, not the kind that have the pretty ladies dancing, the other kind. Wink for the confirmed
ladies' club.
bachelors.
So you're going to a ladies' club?
No. The kind of club where confirmed bachelors can come together and mingle and perhaps share a little time with each other. It's fine. You go to your place, I'll go to mine.
Okay, I'm going to Chippendales.
You know, and the funny thing is as crazy as Saturnine is, there's probably some sort of somebody has made a Visley version of Chippendales, and it's the most magical show ever.
I bet it's full of nightmares. No, I couldn't do it.
Craziness, yeah. All right. You head to a gentleman's club. Let's see here.
Before we split up,
okay.
Billy is gonna. Okay, so Billy's goal is to learn more about the location that we are trying to get to.
The House of Secrets.
Because the House of Secrets. So if I know enough about the House of Secrets, Billy can probably get us there. I feel like right now, that's just like, I'm in this universe. There's a thing called the House of Secrets. I don't feel like that's enough to go on.
It's not.
Right. So but Billy is definitely gonna like, hey, hey guys, if I learn a little bit more about this House of Secrets place, I could probably figure some shit out and get us there. So if you know anything, let me know. Otherwise, I guess we gather information and let me know if you learn something. Maybe we could skip the walk.
You just want to skip to the good part.
Yeah, it's kind of what I do.
Shortcuts. Okay.
So the point is, I'm informing the other people, and then Billy's gonna go gather info.
At a jazz club.
Okay.
Definitely, is there a jazz club?
Sure, why not?
Rad.
And you're going to, Claire, you're going to a ladies club, is that the deal?
Claire is probably going to just wander the streets and attempt to ditch Narcario.
To ditch Narcario?
Yes.
Okay, wait.
How
This
will
is
she
D&D.
see
This
to
is
get
where-
around?
Insight check. Before we leave the building, is there any way that Billy might understand Claire wants to ditch Narcario? Because Billy really wants to ditch Narcario and is watching him like a fucking hawk, despite being Billy.
Well, I think that Billy would kind of figure it out because she's been kind of stepping away from Narcario, like she's irritated with him.
Okay. See, this changes like everything.
Okay, how does it change everything? How are we changing things?
Oh crap! I don't have my book, but deep slumber. Shoot, I really want to know how deep slumber works, but I am sorry. I'm phoning it in from my table is a stack of boxes. I'm moving, so I don't have the book, but I have this ability called deep slumber. No, that's on me. Okay, so that's not gonna work. So I will have to be a weaver and weave. So yeah, Billy is going to
long enough that you can tell she's irritated by something.
Yeah, he's waiting. He's been waiting since halfway through last session for an opportunity. So Billy's going to kind of come up as we're having this discussion about like where we're going to go and what we're going to do, and pretend like he's interested in Narcario's opinion. Like, put his arm around him, and what do you think we should do, buddy? Like, you've been here before, right? And asleep or awake? The question is, does it work? Putting him to sleep.
Okay.
It's not clear.
Go ahead. You're going to have to make a roll for that.
Oh, for sure. I'm doing this on my phone. Oh, and that would be okay. So I have a 5 on mundane die and a 9 on the magic die.
Okay, that's going to be plenty.
Yeah.
What level ability is that?
again, wait, it's very low. I think it's like level 3.
Yeah, that's
I
plenty.
believe.
So that's a 12. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You touch him, and he immediately falls to sleep, like narcolepsy. Right? He's just standing there.
Yep, and Billy catches him and lays him down gently so as to not disturb the process. Josh, did you want to add anything, or he's just asleep and we're moving?
No, he's out.
Okay, he's out. And I can do other things. So Billy immediately does that, sets him down, looks at Claire, and you want to get rid of this Chuckle Fuck or what? Because I can get rid of him.
No, I can't completely get rid of him right now. My father sent him.
Yeah.
I'm just irritated with him.
Well, is there something I could do? Do you want to ditch him for a while?
Yes, but he's being... She kind of makes a face. He's being a little too much.
Okay. So, if you want some space, I could maybe put him somewhere else for a while. It would take him a minute to get back to us. Does that sound good?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So we have the sleeping fella there, and Billy is going to weave together. Let me think about this for just a second. Probably. Okay, so movement from freedom, other universes from infinity, and deception from moonlight. And the trumpet on a string is still around Billy's shoulder and gently plays a strange little tune and touches Narcario, weaves those 3 things together. And I will make this I think it will have to be a very high level. I don't have the sheet like I usually do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will have to be very high level to, I used other universes, so I'm going to just move him to another universe.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So to
come back later.
Clarify, yep, it was, I can't do 4, I can only do 3 of the 4 aggregates. So it's movement from freedom, other universes from infinity, and deception from moonlight, so that when he gets there, he doesn't know what it is. And I will max this out. So,
all right. So have you got 9 sorcery to spare?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Indeed.
So this is a level 9 effect.
Perfect. Thank you.
He is asleep, and he cannot resist you.
Mm-hmm.
He vanishes. As a side note, he is going to be pissed when he gets back.
As a side note, Billy doesn't care. But yeah.
Well,
all right.
As they say, better be pissed off than pissed on.
Mm-hmm.
They do say that, yes. All right, so we're gonna go to a gentleman's club with Albion, and see what we find there. Albion, you, I presume, take Reynard with you, and you head to a gentleman's club. This is this the dancing kind of gentleman's club, or is this a social kind of gentleman's club? Like
It's more of a social club. Yeah,
like a drinking, card playing, cigar smoking gentleman's club rather than the other kind.
Yes, this isn't a dance bar. This is a I think social club sounds great.
You managed to find such a place.
Social club.
They're
Tremendous.
It's a very dim, in contrast to the rest of the city. It's a very dim place. Not dark, not grimy, but muted. It's the atmosphere and the decor is somber, serious conversation. It's calm, contemplative, rather than garish and bright, if that makes sense. When you walk in, there's a man, and he's wearing a very, very sharp suit. His body appears statuesque, and that's probably a good thing because he looks to be almost a living statue. Almost as if someone took the David and gave him an Armani suit and turned him into a receptionist or a maitre d'. And as you walk in, this gentleman, you assume it's a gentleman, turns towards you, and he inclines his head and he says, "Welcome to the Pelican, sir. How may I help you?"
Oh, table for two, please.
He looks down at Reynard, and while everybody would normally not see him, he appears to take note of him and says, "Very well, sir. Table for two. Can I get your companion anything special? I'm not certain what such a creature would eat or drink."
Oh, Reynard. I just sort of reach down and sort of pat Reynard, and he just almost without, almost imperceptibly, has shifted into a man-sized anthropomorphic fox with golden fur, wearing a suit.
Okay.
And I'll say, I think just standard accommodations will be suitable.
Very well, sir. And he takes the two of you to a table, and that table has a very dim lamp on it. You see several straight wall glasses at each chair, right? If you'll wait a moment, the server will be right out. And true to his word, about a minute later, there's another gentleman. This one, very dark skinned, dark hair, impeccably handsome, comes out, and he's carrying a tray, and that tray is full of bottles of alcohol, and it's not the cheap stuff. May I interest you in a drink, sir?
Yes, a bottle of uh, bottle of wine, please, for me and my friend, and a third glass, just in case we have any visitors.
Yes, of course. And a third glass appears at an empty chair, right? And
Mhm.
he looks at the two of you for a moment and pulls one of the bottles, one of the taller bottles, off of his tray. That tray looks like it probably weighs 200 pounds. I mean, it's large and it's full of full bottles. But he sets a bottle down and turns it to you. This is one of my favorites. It's a nice red from, about 150 years ago. It was bottled right here on the gold.
If it's one of your favorites, I'm sure it's tremendous.
Excellent. He deftly sets the tray down. You can almost hear the table creak under the weight, and he pulls the cork from it, and then pours each of you a small amount in a wine goblet, and kind of inclines his head towards you. Please have a taste. See if it's to your liking.
I do the thing. I swirl it. I sniff it. I sip it, and I set the
It is really, really good.
nice. And yeah, I set it down. I push it toward him to fill all the way.
And he does. And he fills Reynard's as well, and then sets the bottle down. And you notice that there's condensate that's forming on it. It's chilled, even without an ice bucket. And he says, "Can I offer you some menus? Would you like something to eat, or is there something else I can get you?"
No, not at the moment. I'll call for you if I need anything.
Very good, sir. And he kind of squats down and picks up the tray and wanders off.
Okay. I would like to you know, in the interest of getting to everyone else, I would like to make a roll
Okay.
using persuasion, maybe, to
All right.
just kind of mingle with the other patrons and see if I can learn any rumors about the House of Secrets.
Okay. This one I'm going to let you throw a hidden knowledge at if you choose. Okay. Give me a little bit of an idea of how you think that'd apply, but I could see ways that could happen. And yes, feel free to go ahead.
Okay. I will do all three of my interaction benays. So this will be +5 to my roll, and then I'm going to use a sortilege too. Okay. On my magic die, I got 5, 11, and then on my mundane die, I got 8.
Okay. You find yourself speaking with a lovely gentleman that tells you that he comes from not Satyrine, one of the towns outside of Satyrine, I should say. And when you ask him about the House of Secrets, his eyebrows lift up and he looks around and he leans in. He says, "Why, yes, of course, I've been to the House of Secrets."
You've been to the House of Secrets. Well, that's so it's a real place.
Yes, it is.
Is it far from here?
It's about a 2 days journey. Yeah.
How did you come to find the House of Secrets?
He laughed. It was almost by accident. I'd heard of it and where in the general area it was, and I went and it was the strangest thing. There was a flock of birds, and I was watching them for hours, it seemed like, but they danced and they swam in the air, and as I was watching them, it was the most remarkable thing. They started speaking to me through their movements. It was bizarre. But when they were done, I knew how to find the door. And I went and sure enough it was there, and the gentleman that owns the house, Rusaz, is a bit of an interesting individual. I can do without all the insects, but he's very knowledgeable, and his house was fascinating. I went back and I started trying to figure out how to make my house a bit like his. Actually, it's a rather remarkable place. I wish I could tell you more, but
I would get sort of a general heading from him if I could. Just sort of the general direction from the city, which road he had taken, and
sure, he describes it to you. It's almost due west of the city, past the malicious manor, past Abba Yast, and across the river Zim. Yeah, it's there's a road that will lead you most of the way there. Um, it's not a road like you'd see in Saturnine, but it's a paved, or what passes for it here, path that manages to stay fairly clear and fairly easy to follow.
very well. Yeah, I spend the rest of the evening just making acquaintances and chatting people up, and then after a few hours, I will return to the hotel.
Okay. Claire, Billy, you have gotten rid of Narcariel. What do you do? What do you do next?
Presumably, Claire is blind, and
Claire is blind.
was leading her. So,
Yep.
I'm going to use the first refresh, the free one, for sorcery pool.
Okay.
And Billy is going to weave sight from freedom, illumination from moonlight, and duration from infinity and lay a hand on Claire while playing trumpet with the other hand to give Claire sight again.
Okay, so you're trying to actually heal her.
I don't think it's permanent. I did do duration. So actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll dump. I'll dump my whole pool again and see if.
All
I can
right,
actually
is 9 your
Why
whole
not?
pool?
It's like 11.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out what level of effect that would be, because
Yeah, I know.
what was done to her was not just blinding. It's not just what was done, it's what did it.
Yep. And Billy is just trying to tear that part out and replace it with something else. I think other things were done to her, and I think Billy is doing it in a way that if it's temporary, that's fine. If he can make it permanent, that would be better. But you tell me.
All right. I'm going to call that that's going to be a level 7 effect, and you want to be able to make that permanent?
Yeah, if I can. Kind of hoping for graduated success, so if I don't do great, it'll kind of work for a while.
That's a what's the base duration on that?
1 second. Well, I used go back to Weaver. Infinity base duration is default duration is short, but I used the duration aspect for infinity. So, I don't know how to interpret that.
All right, I'm gonna call that a level 12 effect.
Okay.
So you're going to wait. You said you have 11 sorcery.
Yes, that's what
We'll call it 11
okay.
effect. You're going to dump your entire sorcery pool.
Oh yeah.
So go ahead.
Okay. All right, and 5 on. So 5 on mundane die, 9 on magic die, plus the 11, and if I can, I will throw, 3 bene at it, like Billy's throwing everything at it, and possibly a hidden knowledge, which could be interesting.
Okay. You you cast this weave, and very very slowly you see the darkness fade from her eyes. And Claire, you can see again.
Claire will smile.
And Billy will say, "What the fuck?"
It's very bright here.
Yeah, it's like super bright. It's terrible. You okay? I don't like that guy. I
Anytime.
don't know. Maybe you like him, but
I don't know him enough to know if I like him or not. He's been very kind, just pushy and bossy
yeah,
and
yeah, he's got an
demanding.
agenda. Hmm.
Oh, he is a demon. I mean,
Yeah, they tend to have those. Are you okay?
I will be. I think we need to hurry up and finish this business with the thaw, though. But I will be.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I haven't talked to you too much about it, but we got to end then, right?
I hope so.
Okay, cool. If I'm not mistaken, you're good. I'm not gonna lie. I was ready to just, you know, lock elbows with you and wander around, but I think you're good. And
I appear to be.
if he comes back and you don't want him here, I'll do what I can.
We'll see what his attitude is when he returns.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be a delight.
I'm kind of liking this whole timeout thing. Now, how about we go find some food and make
Yeah,
some
it's time to do that.
plans?
Yep, let's go.
Okay. You go off and find some food. Where do you want to go, and who do you want to make friends with?
I know. Are we doing that together?
Yeah.
There. Yeah. So you want to go get some noodles or something? Maybe ask around.
Noodles sound delicious. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
that's that.
Okay. Go ahead and pull a card. What do you got?
How about no?
How about yes?
Driver.
Driver. Mysteries, rats, mirrors, stone. Always moving forward. Sometimes there's no other recourse than to simply get away. Escape is often the best option, and the best escape is a quick one. Like a shark, the driver can never stop moving. She's always racing ahead, always moving forward, making sudden, abrupt turns down new avenues without warning. They say that it's not the destination that's important, it's the trip. Well, if that's true, the driver does it best because ultimately she has no destination in mind. It's never the point. The point is speed. I am speed. Motion. The ability to change one's mind from second to second and yet do so fluidly and flawlessly like lightning.
McQueen.
The driver is the defender of the Mysteries family. She protects by enabling others to get away. She carries them to safety, always moving forward. Okay. you go and find some noodles. I would say that there's a giant panda serving them to you, but that would be a little bit too cliche. So we'll
How about
call
a
it.
goose?
It's a six-armed aardvark.
There you go. It's a six-armed aardvark. Why? Because that particular Elderbrand felt like it today. And this heaping bowl of noodles and some broth is incredibly good. The small shop that you're in is full. It's jam-packed. Every seat is taken, and the conversation seems happy and upbeat and loud and almost boisterous, but in a good-natured way. What would you like to do?
We're gonna find a table and have dinner.
Okay, you're at a table and you start eating.
I would say, in the interest of time, Billy and Claire bond. We can maybe have a little convo or whatever on camera. But also, Billy's other goal, and I think Claire's possibly also, is to learn more about this area, like how we can find our way, etc. And this place is packed, right? So, yeah, we will be, or at least Billy will be, schmoozing people and trying to gather information about the region, any insight that he can gain about where we're supposed to go, etc., etc.
Okay. We'll go ahead and in the interest of time, do the same thing that you did, or that I did with Albion, and we'll do a persuasion roll. I'm assuming both of you are doing that. So go ahead. You can use persuasion. Bene, hidden knowledge probably will not help you here because you don't really know much about the gold.
Yes, Claire will talk softly to people around them and mostly listen while she's devouring the food like she hasn't eaten in weeks.
And that's not because you haven't eaten in weeks.
No, it's because I'm hungry.
Yeah, it's very much it. The statement that you made is he's kind. He treats you well. He'll cook food for you and get things for you. That's not the issue.
Yeah, no, she will never say that Narcario was mean to her, mistreated her. Narcario took good care of her. Just he got a bit much. It gets weird when you're sitting there eating and have somebody stare at you, okay? Like a dog, anxiously begging for treats.
Fair enough.
Do you want to be with him forever? Where are you at with him?
Learning.
Okay. Well, let me know.
I promise. You'll be the first to know.
I'm in the pocket. I'm here for you. And Billy rolled a 5. Direction, and I'm going to put 3 Bene in it. So 3 Benny in it from a direction. I think that's enough. That's all I'm going to do. To gather info
Okay.
about.
As you're listening and chatting occasionally with other people, Claire, you manage to find a woman that joins you at your table, and she seems very, very friendly. Her the saying or metaphor, maybe, babbling brook, descriptive phrase, or what, I don't know what you call it, but she has apparently gone to the changery and made her head a literal babbling brook. It appears to be a very noisy, very active, flowing stream of water surrounded by some rocks on either side. And through the rushing water and the almost happy noise of that water flowing. I don't know if you've ever been to a brook like that, but they're fun to listen to. You hear her voice, and she chatters away at you happily, and you look to be new here on the Gold. Welcome. We're happy to have you, and how are you enjoying it? Where are you staying? Have you met anybody interesting? And so on and so forth. You eventually bring the conversation around to the House of Secrets. Oh, well, yes. I mean, I've never been or anything like that, but of course, it's here in the Gold. Yes.
Talk to him, Billy. Claire's got a mouthful of food. I mean,
Oh, so I thought that person was talking to Claire.
She initially started talking to Claire, and then
Gotcha. Okay.
Claire chipmunked.
Gotcha. All right. 10-4. Well, yeah. I mean, I know it's here in the Gold, but do you know exactly where? Like from here, how do you get there? Could you enlighten me on that subject?
Sort of. I suppose I've heard you can't really find it because it's not visible, but I'm told it's west of here somewhere across the River Zan. Occasionally that Rousseau's fellow shows up in town to trade or talk with different people, I suppose. I've seen him once. It's rather disturbing, actually.
Eyes
eyes and insects, and it's not really my thing, I'm much more of a nature person, a happy
doesn't sound like
nature
my thing
person.
either. Yeah, well, mosquitoes, whatever. Neither of those things are my thing, but that's super interesting. Thank you.
Yes, of
So
course,
west
of
of here,
course.
across the river. The river what? No, the river Zaz.
The River Zim,
Yeah, yeah, Zimzam. Ziz. Yeah, got it. No problem.
XIM, Zim.
That's just me playing Billy.
Yeah, no. I'm
Um,
that's GM to players. River Zim, XIM.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. That's some information I really needed. Do you need anything?
Do it? No, of course not. No, I'm just fine, thank you.
No, let me buy you a drink.
Oh well, you're too kind.
No,
And she
problem.
reaches
No
out and
problem.
she gently touches your hand and pats it.
Yeah, and I don't buy a drink. I just apparate one and spend one more sorcery because I have to refresh my pool anyway. And I give her just like super solid, neat whiskey with one ice cube.
She takes a sip and woo, that's a bit strong. I like it. It's a good flavor. And the river, for just a moment, turns amber, and then it turns back blue.
Yeah, it was worth it. So, did we, the three of us, have like a? We didn't. Like we're gonna meet up. I guess we're gonna meet back at the hotel at some point.
Yeah, that was my understanding.
So,
All right.
Yeah, Claire will
think
order
we're
a
all
second
good.
bowl.
You have a second bowl.
Mhm. Mhm.
Of course, now I'm like picturing like a stack of empty bowls beside Claire's table.
Oh god. All right. So, eventually you finish the mountain of noodles that you order, and I'm assuming you're headed back. Is that the plan, or is there somewhere else you want to go?
I don't think so. I mean, Billy used to eat twice as much as a normal human. Now he eats like 4 times as much, I'm going to say. So it's kind of intense. But yeah, then we go back to the hotel.
All right. By the time you get back, Albion is there, and he looks very relaxed and cheerful. And before we get to your discussion, we'll go ahead and take our break. We'll see you in about 10 minutes or so. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. We are on the Gold Sun, and we've just come back together after visiting a noodle restaurant and a gentleman's club. Visley, what do you talk about?
As soon as I see Claire and Billy come walking up, the first thing I notice is that the demon isn't with them, and that Claire can apparently see again.
He did it.
Well, that's wonderful. Billy, you did good work. Look at this. Tremendous. And where did Narcario end up?
He's in timeout.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Some other universe, I think. Could take him some time to get back if he wants to.
I see. Well, okay. Well, gang's back together. I I had the most incredible luck. I met someone who has been to the House of Secrets. He couldn't give
Really?
me specific directions, but he gave me a pretty clear idea of how to get near to there, and uh, and he told me how he found the door, which I think might be very useful for us. So
Yeah,
perhaps
that'd
we
be.
we would be able to go and get there as early as the day after tomorrow.
I think I might have gathered enough information to just skip that whole bit and just get us there. But you know, I'd be blowing some resources. So it's a
We are
decision.
walking the we are walking the path of suns. There's no call to truncate our journey.
You have a good point. We're walking the path of suns. Let's walk. Oh, ride or whatever.
I would prefer to ride, yes. But yeah, I think we could probably get there very soon, and then we can be on our way to the Infractious Expanses.
All right. So we're leaving the city, correct?
After we
The
sleep
next
for the night.
day.
After we sleep, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead and refresh all your pools. And then the next day you head out. The terrain of the Gold Sun is mostly rolling hills. You can see off in the distance a mountain or two, but it is you know how rolling grain fields look when they're full and have seed. It's much like that, except not tall stalks of wheat or grain. It's grass size, trimmed grass size, or maybe slightly taller than that. But it's that same color of a fully ripe grain field. There's a nice breeze that blows through, and while the sun is bright, it is not particularly hot. And it makes for a fairly pleasant journey. Most of the way of the first day, you don't really encounter anything. You're following this path that was pointed out to you, Albion, and it's empty, but that could be a good thing. It's not until about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe, that you see a very, very large, for what you would assume is large, jewel encrusted beetle, just walking along the path.
Oh, how pretty.
It stops and turns and says, "Why, thank you." Haven't seen travelers on the road today. This is interesting.
Well, greetings. My name is Albion. How do you call yourself?
My name is Clarissa, almost 2 feet long.
Clarissa, almost 2 feet long. Well, it's such a pleasure to make your acquaintance. We are out here on the path. Got another day's travel, I believe, but we're here walking the path of suns, and what a joy it is to meet you. Have you always been a bejeweled beetle?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Ah, well, fascinating. This is my friend Claire, the one who called you pretty, and this one is Billy. Very charming gentleman.
It's a pleasure to meet all of you. Are you then traveling together? You going somewhere together? Or?
Yes, we are seeking our fortune. To the west of here. Across the river Zim.
To the west, across the river Zim. Are you by chance headed to the House of Secrets?
What? Perhaps we are. Is that where
Clever
you're
and
headed?
pretty. I think I like her.
It's a beetle, so it doesn't really smile per se, but you can see its little mandibles chitter a little bit.
Is that where you're headed?
Oh, no, no, no. I'm just wandering. Looking for things new, looking for new stories, looking for new people to talk to. The places, they don't have a change, it seems like, although they do. I mean, it is the Gold Sun, but the House of Secrets is still the House of Secrets, and Abba Yash is still Abba Yash, even though people come and go and things change. there's only so much that does change. But the new people are interesting, and so I seek them out, like yourselves, for instance.
Well, you're certainly welcome to travel with us if you like.
Oh my,
Uh,
that'd be wonderful.
Have you ever considered traveling off the Golden Sun?
Oh, I'd be too frightened to do that. There's still so many people to meet here, and well, I don't know anything about any of the other sons. But I I've heard stories. I mean, have
I
you been to the other sons?
Oh yes, I've been to all of them. I'm a goetic. I love to visit places and see new things.
And she gasps a little bit. Would you by chance have any compelling stories about them? I'd love to hear stories. I might be able to help you along your way in exchange.
I would be honored to share a story with you.
How lovely. What story are you going to share with her?
I am going to start walking with her, and as we're walking, I am going to tell her about the orphanage on the Pale and playing tag with the little children and summoning. I have her name. Let me find her name. Teacup. Summoning Teacup to play with the kids.
Okay. You spend the next hour regaling this beetle with the tale of the pale sun and an orphanage there, and Teacup playing tag with the little children. And she seems extremely happy to listen to you. And when you're done, wow, that's a wonderful tale, my dear. How interesting to have been able to see such a thing. I understand that you're looking for the House of Secrets. Let me tell you a little bit about what I know about the House of Secrets. It's built entirely of secrets. That is why it is invisible. One must either learn the secrets of the house to gain entrance to the house, or be taught them somehow, or find some other way to enter. It's a rather curious place. It seems to change owners periodically. They delve deeper into its secrets and find themselves lost, unable to get back. Um, the current owner is rather interesting creature. He's a man, I suppose, by the name of Rusaz. Um, you'll know him by the constantly growing eyeballs and live insects that come out of him. He's a very curious man. Um, I've even met a few brothers and sisters that have joined this world because of him. And he regales me with a tale or two every time I see him, but I've never actually been in the house. It's across the River Zim. It's maybe 3-4 miles from there. You'll occasionally see him in town if you fancy waiting around long enough. He trades secrets for things that he needs. And she proceeds to detail out the rest of the trail to get there in exquisite detail. Up to and including when you arrive at the rock that's shaped like such and such, turn left, and
Okay. There. I think we have our directions, y'all.
and yes, Kelton, in case you were wondering, you now have enough information to take you there.
Okay.
If you get within 5 miles of that house, knowing Rusaz's name will give you enough information to be able to shift.
Are we there yet?
I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Yeah. So Billy will. This is a practiced weave. We don't have to talk about it. Yeah. It'll be like, yeah, all right. I know where we're going. Y'all ready?
Let's get this done.
Very well.
Okay. And how many sorcery am I spending for that?
Crud, that was either a 4 or a 5, wasn't it?
I mean, I'm shooting myself in the foot here, but I'm gonna say 5.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I don't know that we actually wrote that down. I'd have to go back and figure it out again. I think it was 5.
Me too. I don't have all of my stuff. 5 makes sense. Oh, that's a 10 and a 3 on the magic die.
Okay. You shift and you find yourself on it's dirt and some patches of grass and periodic stone peeking through the ground. Off in the distance, you see what looks like a massive ocean or sea or something opening up on a coastline and nothing else.
I think we're here, but I mean, it's a club that has the secrets, so it's kind of weird to get in. Any ideas?
You are now within 5 miles of the House of Secrets, just so you know.
Mm-hmm. I will say that also. Wait. Do I know like which direction to go, or I just know that I'm within 5 miles?
You had a ability that you could, if someone was in 5 miles, you could put yourself to them if you knew their name. You are within 5 miles and you know their name.
Okay. Yeah, I inform everybody. Mustafa is 5 miles somewhere. So we're pretty close, but not exactly sure which way to go.
Do I see any birds?
You do.
Do I see a great flock of them?
In fact, several.
I'm going to relay to them the story of how we of how the person I met found the House of Secrets, the entrance to the House of Secrets, and suggest that perhaps we could watch the birds for a while.
Okay. You sit down, lay back, and watch the birds as they fly around, in and out of the sea, dancing in the air. And after about an hour of doing this, you feel there's something in the pattern of how they're flying that's not random. You stare for a little bit longer and you see runes begin to form in the air in your mind as you trace these birds' paths over and over. And then the rune changes and shifts, and it's very fluid script style flying, but it, after a while, you feel something in your mind click, like, ah. And suddenly, about 50 feet away from you, you see a small stone set of steps leading up to a door. The door is wooden. It looks old, and it has one of those massive knockers on the middle. Big bulbous thing that it's probably 2 pounds. I mean, it looks heavy. It looks solid.
Walk up to the door and I give it a good hard knock.
All right, we have a new card. This is Rat. Mysteries, rats, mirrors, stone. Rats are masters of survival. They're hardy, smart, and stealthy. Some rats, of course, get very smart and devise whole new ways of prospering amid humans, literally right under their noses. A few rats learn to adopt human identities through disguise, concealment, and trickery. Humans, as a group, are notoriously easy to fool as long as you don't overtly threaten them, and rats have no needs to do so. The rat is the companion of the Mysteries family. The rat sees much and learns much and keeps those secret to itself. It keeps to the shadows and, in fact, is the Lord of the Shadows. God, I love this game. Okay. You knock on the door and it opens. And you see scurrying about 2 or 3 rats. They look to be getting out of the way of the door, actually.
Does it open?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the rats are on the inside.
Okay. So, yeah, I step through and I just say, "Hello, is anybody here?" The door just kind of opened for us. Rusaz, we're seeking a gentleman by the name of Rusaz.
As you walk in, there is a fire in a fireplace, several couches laying around. The place is for somewhere that's got rats as regular companions. The place is fairly clean. One of the rats comes over to you and looks up and squeaks once and then races off.
Now, does that feel like it was telling me to follow, or was that, did it seem like it got close, it squeaked in fright, and it ran away?
Do you speak rat?
Yes,
Yes.
I'm a goetic. I speak all languages. Said so in the book. A book
Spiritual languages.
Potato, potato.
It did not appear to be frightened
Afraid.
of you.
Okay, then I'm just gonna follow it. Uh,
I'm gonna follow him. We're following the lead. The lead.
It darts under a kind of a knotted hole in a door.
hmm.
Door doesn't open, but it darts underneath it.
Knock on the
Okay.
door.
Yeah, I knock on the door.
It does not open.
I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask Rainy to pop through the hole and see what he can see, and report back to me. That is a ability called Another Point of View.
Okay.
Says my secret companion can move anywhere within long range as long as they don't have to bypass any barriers such as a wall or a closed door. I don't need to see where they go. After one round, they return and tell me everything they saw and heard.
Okay. So even though this is a closed door, I would let you try, except he tries and can't get through.
Can't get through the hole?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like he's small. He makes himself small enough to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but something's stopping him.
Well, I'm going to attempt to open the door. First of all, I cast the spell Prescient Defense. I
Okay.
see incoming attacks on before they strike. I automatically succeed on any two defense actions of my choice while the spell is active. The spell depletes over time, whatever. But I go ahead and cast that on me.
Okay.
It's a depletion in hours, so
Yeah, it's not going to matter. Okay, go ahead.
I cast that on myself, and then I try to open the door.
Doesn't budge.
Doesn't budge. Billy, do you have any thoughts? Claire, do you know a
Yeah,
way
let me see
to
what I can do.
speak a door open?
So Billy will weave escape. from Freedom. And 1 second. Space from Infinity. To open the door. Unless, if I sense that it's like very difficult to do, I will throw more into it.
You get the sense that it's reasonably difficult to do, but
Okay.
you don't know what or why.
So go ahead and add. So space. Well, let's see. Actually, movement from Infinity. Escape from Freedom to escape this room. And deception from Moonlight to get around whatever magical, fuckery is happening right here.
Okay.
So I'll make that a. It really doesn't seem like it should be that hard. I'll put 4 sorcery into it.
Okay.
Make it a 4th
While
level
they're
effect.
looking at the door, I'm going to be looking around the door. Is this like a hallway with a single door? Are there more doors?
There are more doors. You're in an entry room. Or
So
more
like
like
a foyer?
a reception room. There's several couches. There's a fireplace. It's lit. It looks very inviting. There's probably there's 3 doors out of this room, and you're standing at one of them.
Are the other 2 open? Can
No.
I go look at them and investigate them?
Nope.
Because Claire is going to look at her companions, and they said that to open doors and to locate things inside the House of Secrets, we had to discover knowledge. Let's take a look around, and then if we can't come up with another reason, we break in. Because I don't particularly want to anger him, considering we need his assistance. You know?
Oh, absolutely. I think that sounds like a fine idea.
How long are you going to take to look?
Claire is probably going to walk around the room at least twice, and she's not going to look at anything specific. She's going to start playing with the Sooth deck and letting it guide her. Like, it's floating around her, so she's going to reach up and just start dragging her fingers through the cards. And then draw a card. Here we go. What's she going to draw? No. This is bullshit. Vizier.
Ooh, a nemesis.
Okay. You're flipping through your deck and wandering around the room, and Albion and Billy, you join her and are looking at things and poking and prodding, and it's about 15-20 minutes later that the door that the rat went under opens, and you see a tall-ish, 5'7", 5'8", maybe. Humanoid creature. He looks to be draped in rags. Maybe it was a robe at one point in time, but it looks to have been deteriorated. And it's covered with eyeballs. Different sizes, different shapes, different colors, but eyes. And they're darting around looking everywhere. Periodically, you'll see the form of the covering part, and a bug will crawl out and start crawling up and down the body. And occasionally it will disappear, and occasionally it will walk off and onto the floor, and then it kind of scuttles and scurries somewhere else.
Albion will step forward and extend his hand and say, my name is Albion J. Finch. I assume you must be Rusaz.
I was not expecting guests.
Well, we didn't have a good way to send you a letter, so we just had to show up uninvited. I do apologize for that.
I understand. Welcome to the House of Secrets.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I tell him, like, we're looking for a way to get to the Temple of Vizsla, and have been given to believe that the I can't remember what it's called, the something compass, or
The multiphasic compass.
multiphasic compass. We've been told that the multiphasic compass is the only way to get there, and that the multiphasic compass could might be the only way to, or might be here.
You are in luck. It is here. I have retrieved it.
Might we be able to borrow it on loan, of course?
It
Should we
does,
survive?
it does not loan well, but I could be interested in a trade.
A trade for what?
I have a bit of a problem, you see. This house is built on secrets, and discovering such secrets taxes the mind. I need to remember, or I will get lost as those who have owned it before me. Bring me the Journal of Keroneth, and you may have your compass.
Don't suppose you have any idea of where to find this journal?
I have not been able to find it yet. Though I'm
Excellent.
told that there are several in existence.
There's several in existence. Give me a second.
Yes.
Question for the GM. How much is the Journal of Kenneth worth?
Is the Journal of Kareneth worth?
Mm-hmm.
Several mage coin. It's an object of power.
Okay, so I'm not going to be able to.
No, this isn't a deep sleep thing. What I will say is that somebody you know has one in their possession.
Yes, but they're not here.
That makes sense.
That is
And they're
correct.
not here.
They are not here.
Yeah.
So in answer to your question, yes, I will allow it.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
All right. I got to look at this one. Hang on.
I think Monty is upset that I sent Mercurial away.
Yeah.
Oh no.
In the middle of this conversation, Narcariel appears in the room. And he looks at you, and instead of rage, you see almost sadness. And then he looks at Billy, and the rage is there.
Ah, there it is. There it is. Yeah, before we do anything, Billy's just like, huh, that was a little bit faster than I expected.
No, this is not okay.
I am
Yeah, what's
disappointed.
You'll live.
and just so we're clear, you two, what is Billy's read on Claire's reaction to Nakariel's re-arrival?
She appears to be somewhat pleased that he is back, but still isn't willing to let go of her irritation with him.
Okay.
So she's got kind of like a half smile, half growl.
Okay. I'm gonna kick it up a notch, GM. Billy is looking Claire in the eyes, and I almost want to roll for that because that's an ambiguous answer before Billy decides what to do. I'm gonna let the dice tell the story.
Go for it.
Okay. Jesus, what would that even be?
Her feelings for Narcorial are complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a Sooth deck draw on my or on my board.
Fuck!
Understand motives. Okay, I have a thing.
No!
7 plus 1 for
I just drew the
motives
devil.
is 8. Uh-oh. I'm gonna.
That's absolutely wild.
That is absolutely wild. I would like to throw a hidden knowledge at this roll because I think like there's something. I've spent so much time in Claire's houses. Probably this might be from before she got pushed out of the theater. I have some insight into Claire, so
I'm okay
I
with
think
that.
it's fair that I get a hidden knowledge on that, and then I have hold on interaction. Yeah, I'm gonna throw all three Benny at it. Why not? I don't care. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I rolled
Okay.
a 7.
You know whatever Claire thinks. Claire, what do you think?
Claire's
The goal is like, do you want me to deal with this motherfucker, or do you like?
well. So the way I've got it in my head is Claire's feelings for Narcariel are extremely complicated. On one hand, she likes him because he has been very, very good to her, taken care of her, protected her, stood up for her, etc., etc., etc. At the same time, she doesn't want to like him because she just lost Hebert. And she's like, we've got all this stuff to deal with. I don't have time to get distracted again. And the last time I started liking somebody, they got killed because of me. So I'm not going to like you because you're going to get killed if I do.
Got it. It's not like
So,
there's a lot
Billy,
there.
what do you do?
She's being very, what's that word? Sundre? Yes. She likes him, but she doesn't want to like him, so she's trying to push him away.
Yeah.
Because she did really care for Hebert, but he's dead, and he keeps. And every time she's summoned him to talk to him, he's telling her to move on.
It's not like it's complicated or anything.
No, it's not complicated at all.
Well, and
Claire,
what complicates it more, right, is that it's not Narcariel's fault that he's dead either. It's her sister's.
Yeah.
Right? That whole thing at the Goetic College was her sister and her sister's demon or dark demon buddies going to town on all the Goetics.
Yeah, isn't like Claire the highest level Goetic now? Still alive?
No, you are not.
Oh, thank God, because I can't rank up without a higher level Goetic.
No, you are not the highest level Goetic in Saturnine still.
Unless you like magically make me the highest level Goetic.
That and there are Goetics other places. There's a ton of Goetics on the red.
So yeah, all of her feelings are very complicated.
Yeah, one really simple. Does Claire want him out of here more than she wants him to be here? Like, what's the scale? That's what Billy is.
Claire is leaning more towards having him around than him not being around.
Okay, after having sight back, but it's all of that complicated.
Yes. She wants him around, but she also doesn't want him dead because of her. And yeah, it's very complicated. Her emotions are contemplated.
Okay, so Billy's just gonna turn to Narcariel and say, "Hey, buddy, welcome back. Could you be a little bit less creepy? Could you leave her alone? I mean, you're welcome to join us, I guess, for the moment, but keep your distance."
you see literally every shade of anger and frustration and irritation and everything in between cross this guy's face in a matter of a heartbeat.
Mhm.
And he looks at you for a long moment, and then he turns to Claire. Is that what you want?
Good question.
Does he speak for you?
Not completely, but he does understand that right now things are complicated and you're making it worse by being up my ass all the time. And quite frankly, I don't know that I can trust you. My dad summoned you. The person who set me up to face my sister completely unprepared.
He stares at you for a long time. And then finally turns and walks off to the corner opposite where you guys are. Turns back, puts his back against the wall, and folds his arms, and almost melts into the darkness.
What a healthy conversation. Tremendous.
That was interesting.
Billy goes towards the darkness, leans up against the wall next to Nakariel as he says that. Yeah, right? Sorry, I'm
Well,
taking care of my
leave it to
girl.
Claire to bring the drama.
I'm sorry, Billy, what did you say?
He leans up against the wall next to Macario and says, "Hey, sorry, buddy. You know, I got to take care of my girl. But why the fuck are you here? Like, for you? I'm not afraid of demons. I'm not a. What's your agenda, buddy?
Did she not tell you? Her father promised her to me.
Yeah, okay.
A long, long time ago.
I don't know that Claire actually knew that.
Okay. Billy is going to try and completely fucking destroy this guy. Like, that's it. That's it. He's not in a good place, and that's what's happening. So, I already used a bunch of sorcery, so I popped the pill that I have that refreshes it. And let me look at this for a second. So, destruction from freedom. Interesting. Destruction from freedom. Nightmare from sleep. And oh, hey, cute. Mental damage. From Infinity. And I will do the whole pool, which is like 11. I think my online one is not quite up to date, but I put everything into sorcery because that's all Billy does. And then, yeah, I can do one Bene, and I think I deserve a hidden knowledge on this one because I am close to Claire. And that is a 7 on the main die and a 2 on the magic die. Plus all that garbage. I'm pumping 11 sorcery into it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of how to describe this.
If it works, in
You
theory, because of the things I combined, he just never existed.
you you perform your weave, and as you're performing your weave, you see him melt into the darkness, and he says, "Not this time." And then he's gone.
Oh, Billy has a new friend. All right, well, I don't think that worked, Claire, but I'm still here.
And that's where we'll end for the evening. It is 6 o'clock. We appreciate you joining us. I appreciate the opportunity to leave my characters on cliffhanger because it's fun getting that reaction. And yeah, we don't have a whole heck of a lot of time, but any quick shout outs or anything that
Yeah, I have a short one.
go for it.
Legends of the Old Kingdoms starts Wednesday. So it'll be the season 2 premiere of that show. That show is awesome. And I play a drug addicted, weird elf person thing that shoots things with arrows. It'll be
Very
fun.
cool. And that's Heathen Cantina, right?
Heathen Cantina. Yeah, over on Heathen Cantina.
All right. Go check that out. Legends of the Old Kingdom. We are at Crash City Con the end of this month, the 25th, 26th, and 27th. We're running Numenera and Hope's Horizon. Come join us. Come hang out. That is in Roanoke, Virginia. So if you happen to be close and you want to meet us, great. We'd love to talk to you. Anybody else? Anything?
No, I don't think so.
All right. So then from our Citadel to yours, once again, happy gaming.
Happy gaming.